Hi guys, welcome to another week with the Weekly Mash. This week Imke interviewed Anabelle, our technical manager, and they covered all the science behind brewing.
Well, the off flavours you can get mostly.
Awesome.
That was our goal for this one too.
Okay.
See, because when you spend all this time making a beer, you don't want to do it all and then wait for it to ferment and bottle or keg or anything, tasting it, you're like, oh, what's this weird flavour it's got? Because there's a lot, I guess, that can go wrong if you don't do proper brewing techniques.
Yep.
And so in this video we just went over all the off flavours, what they taste like, and the most important, how to prevent them, so you can have really good beer.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, let's go see what Anabelle has to say. Hi everyone. Today I'm in the lab here at work, and we've got Anabelle here with me, who's our technical manager. And what we've done is we've deliberately brewed some beers that have various off flavours. And so I'll be testing it, seeing if I can taste what's wrong with it, and we'll be going over the various off flavours you get in beer and how this occurs and how to prevent doing this by using the correct brewing techniques. So I'll be doing the tasting, and I'll just start from right to left. And so this is just a standard pale ale, New Zealand pale ale that we've just brewed with off flavours. So. It's nice. I've got some kind of crispness to it. I think like an apple kind of
like
crisp.
an apple crisp.
Yes.
So that one usually is due to the acetaldehydes that are produced during fermentation. They are just a natural production from the yeast, and some of the beer it can be desired, but usually not. It can be due to the fact that the beer is still too young. The fermentation hasn't fully finished.
Yeah.
So you need to leave it a little bit longer to condition. Or another way to prevent it is make sure you select the appropriate strain of yeast that will ferment properly your wort.
Okay. Okay, sure. No, thank you. Okay, so next one. That's definitely creamy and toffee-like. That's a butterscotch. Yeah, I know what that is. Yep, I'm quite well with that one.
Butterscotch, creamy, caramel. That would be the acetyl, and it's one of the most common off flavors that you find in beers. They're usually not wanted either. They can be desired in some ales, but definitely not in lagers.
Yeah.
So a brew that has a long lag time before fermentation starts will have a lot of these caramel butterscotch flavor.
Sure.
So to prevent these, you can minimize the amount of cell growth by having a high pitch rate. So put lots of yeast.
Lots of yeast, yeah.
But don't pitch warmer than you should, because then it will create other problems.
Yeah.
And also make sure you do a deacetyl rest at the end of the fermentation for all the lagers. And it's good to know that some of these butterscotch flavors can be reabsorbed during the second fermentation. So once it's in the bottle, it gets reabsorbed by the yeast. So you will get rid of a little bit.
Okay, sure. But just remember, with lagers and pilsners, that diacetyl rest.
Yeah.
Really important. Otherwise, you'll get this toffee flavored lager. And you want it to be crisp.
That.
Yeah. It's a newspapery flavour.
Newspapery flavour. That doesn't sound good.
Vegetable-y.
Vegetable, newspaper. Do you get like metallic canned tomato or something?
Okay, yeah, I guess I can see what you mean by
that.
Yeah.
That might be what we call the DMS, Dimethyl Sulfide. It's very common as well, and you've probably heard about it.
Yeah.
So this is produced during the malting stage of the grains, And while mashing and while brewing, while boiling, and also if the wort is not cooled down fast enough, they can be produced. It's a chemical reaction. It's not linked to a bacteria or contamination. It's really inherent to the grains, how they've been malted.
Yeah.
So the way to get rid of these compounds, the sulfur compounds, is to boil your wort with the open lid. So it's very important to boil it.
Okay, and get a vigorous boil going.
Yeah, get vigorous boil and it evaporates.
I would say with this one, to get these flavours, we just didn't do a vigorous boil, long boil, and
we would have kept the lid
didn't cool fast.
It didn't cool fast enough. Yeah.
You can definitely taste it. Yeah.
That's the main thing to do with these.
So make sure you cool fast and get a good boil going. Very good from there. Yeah, that's a sulphur.
Oh, sulphur.
Yeah.
Not good. Definitely.
I can taste
you don't want that on any beers, regardless of the style. Usually, sulphur is produced when the yeasts are stressed.
Okay.
Or they're old and they started to break down, die off. So if you have an old beer, you will get the yeast dying off and you will get sulphur taste. If you also have temperature that's too high, the yeast will produce some of that.
It's definitely not good. Yeah. It's one of the worst ones I've tried now, but
So keep an eye on your fermentation temperature and make sure the yeast is of good quality, is vigorous and not stressed, so it's got all the nutrient, the oxygen it needs, and the temperature it requires. Yeah.
Okay, next one. This one's not bad. It's a it's got a bit of a how can I say it's banana-y kind of taste.
That sounds
maybe too much though.
Too much banana.
For what I know this beer is supposed to taste like, because I know the beer. So
yeah, for ale you don't really want banana flavour or pineapple.
For wheat beer you would, but
yeah. So that's usually banana, pineapple, fruity that you get is a chemical called esters.
Okay.
And they're also produced by yeasts. It can be a contamination, but usually it's the strain that you choose. It's desired in the wheat beers, the white beers as well, white wheat beers.
Wheat beers, wheat beers. Those German and Belgian, Belgian wheat beers.
You want a little bit of banana,
you want some,
and you get a special strain, special yeast strain for that. They're also produced by other strains when the temperature is too hot. The fermentation temperature is too warm. So a good way to prevent this is to lower your temperature during fermentation and use sufficient aeration to cool your fermenter if it's getting too hot. And maybe reduce your specific gravity or your OG at the start so that the yeast doesn't get too stressed out.
Produce make sure a bit low OG. Sure.
Okay. And the last one, what have you got?
So a bit astringent.
Astringent?
Yeah, some kind of.
So that could be, let me smell it. That could be a grainy paper, cardboard type flavour. That's what I get as well as astringent. So quite dry. That's usually because of the way the grains have been crushed when you do when you're ready to mash. So they've been crushed too fine. There's too much flour, and the husk release a lot of paper, cardboard, or grain of flour almost.
Well, because then you're only supposed to crush the husk open. You're not supposed to actually mill the whole husk.
We're not making bread.
Into powder. Okay. So I guess some of the tannins in the husks have been released into the beer.
Exactly. Tannins, the tannins get released, and you do get enough flavour that is astringent, like you said. and the amount of flour also gets a cardboard taste. You can avoid that by doing the right crush, but also make sure when you mashing in, there's a good wetting of the grist. So it's important that everything gets properly wet.
Yeah. So mash, get your water in, get your grain in, do a good stir.
Yeah.
I mean, with the grandfather we have the recirculation system, but just make sure before you turn the pump on, give it a good stir.
And all the grains have been,
avoid any dry clumps, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. And also the correct mashing, sparging temperature and correct sparging amount of sparge water. If you put too much sparge water, it may release too much of those husk tannins through.
Okay. Well, that's been great.
Cool.
Yeah. They've been, I guess, my least favourite one is the sulphur.
Yeah, because that sulphur can smell like rotten.
I mean, I know what the beer's supposed to taste like, and I can definitely see faults in them. Some, I mean, the estery one, it's not horrible. I can still do with a little bit, but you don't want get that if that's the beer you're going for. But
yeah,
it's good to know what flavours you can get off flavours and how to prevent that. So we want everyone to make good beer. So hopefully this was helpful to you guys, and let us know if you have any questions around this. And so, cheers. Thanks, Anabelle.
Cheers. Thank you, Imka.
That was really interesting, Imka.
That was good.
I've learned so much, and what I've took out of this is we might have a new recipe for a vegetable beer, so I don't have to eat vegetables anymore.
No. Well, you can drink all the vegetable beer you want. I'm going to stick to my nice, proper beer. So, to take from this, really, once you have your recipe, it's really important, get a nice recipe, make sure it all works out, but also just keep in mind all these things, what can go wrong or so, and be prepared for it, and just make sure you ferment properly, you brew properly, and then you'll have a nice, good beer, and she can drink all the vegetable beer. So, cool. See you next week.